What is up, everybody? It's me, Brian, with HappyThumbsGaming, and we're back with more LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This is level 34, Starkiller Queen Free Play. We're going to get all 6 of those Kyber bricks, including the True Jedi status, as well as those 5 mini-kits and 3 challenges. Now, I want to note that I did accidentally get a challenge in the story mode. In fact, it was called Snowed In, Lock the Stormtroopers Outside the Base. This is easily done. It's right about 10 steps to your right from where we spawn, and I likely should have done this challenge first to keep my numbers correct, but I went left instead. So it just flowed the level a little better by going left, so we chose that route instead. But hey, we got quick links down below in the video description, and when you are ready, go ahead and pull up your galaxy map, toggle over to episodes, of course choose episode 7, and we're going to get to that, well, I guess the second to last level, Starkiller Queen. But take note, I actually got a challenge on both of the last 2 levels, and I also got a mini kit on destroying Starkiller, which is the next level. So just be prepared for that, as you know, sometimes we get those in story because they're too easy peasy. All right, here we go. We've officially landed inside the level. We're going to make our way over to the left-hand side, and we might notice that there is a scoundrel point on the high left wall. This is great for studs, and it also takes out some of the baddies, and also points us in the direction of that mini-kit floating up there. We're going to get that in a hot second, but first we're going to take out the remaining baddies. There's a couple standing in the doorway and off to the right side that didn't get smashed with our grab there, but now we've got another scoundrel point right beyond that first one. This one is going to be on the bridge, and this one is actually for a challenge called the rug pull. Find a way to blow up the sniper bridge. So although we've only got one challenge so far in this video that is showing the second challenge, again, that is because we've got that snowed in challenge, which we will grab as soon as we knock out a couple of mini kits. And speaking of which, we're going to need our favorite scavenger to go ahead and deploy a couple of nets up top there. Then we're going to need to use a grappler. So I went ahead and toggled over to Jango Fett, got my grapple on, and up to those nets we go for the first mini kit. Woo to the hoo. Now making our way down the same way, we're actually going to take out some gold bricks. That's right, we've got a wall with some gold locking plates on them. We're going to go ahead and choose a left or right side, it doesn't matter which one, and go ahead and blast a clearing to get into this new, oh no, is it a trash compactor? It certainly is. We've got some experience with these guys, but in this case, it's going to be used for the good. We're going to use the Force to drop this box with the mini kit down inside. Then we're going to actually use the left push switch to push it all the way in, and basically what we're doing is just getting our smash on. We're going to go ahead and get it good. Booyakashow. It's officially been smashered, so we can drop down in there and, of course, collect some studs and build the bouncing bricks on the ground in the mini kit too. Woo to the hoo. All right, up top, we're going to go ahead and we just toggled to our other character to get out of there easily. Making our way right back to where we came from. We've got a whole bunch of baddies that we need to errati. And you should note that on the left-hand side there, you have to take out 30 stormtroopers in order to advance the storyline. So rather than wait till the very end and have all the collectibles collected and then grind out these guys, we figured we'd thin out their numbers a little earlier. Now, the camera work after that cinematic scene threw me for a loop. It actually made me feel like I was going the wrong way, which, in fact, I ended up turning and going the wrong way. So here we are all the way back at the start, and just beyond it to the right, you're going to notice a grapple plug up on the high right wall. Go ahead and get your grapple on and close those doors, as you're going to keep those guys snowed in. I feel like it's snowed out, right? Like, that's kind of a weird, wonky term there. But once you get that done, that's the second challenge. We're going to go all the way down to this giant window here, and all you got to do is walk up to it. And that's challenge 3. You might notice that Rey's off in the distance there, jumping down and getting her. Oh, man, I don't envy her right now. But officially, all 3 challenges are complete, and we're ready to get some more mini-kits, which there happens to be one right around the corner. So we're going to smash everything and everybody and make our way down this hallway, where we see a scoundrel point on the left. We're going to actually bypass that and just sneak into this right room. Now, one thing I will mention, although I said thin out their numbers, you definitely don't want to get all 30 of them. Although it probably doesn't matter, and you probably can get everything you need to do still, we recommend you leave a couple hanging just to kind of control what's going on. But In this hallway off to the right side, we've got ourselves a villain terminal. We're going to need to go ahead and choose our favorite villain. We got Vader because he was easily equipped. And inside, we can go ahead and toss a thermal detonator or a grenade. I'm not sure what to call them in this game. I call them grenades in TCS, and I got a ton of crap for it because they're thermal detonators. Then I started calling them thermal detonators. People were like, those aren't thermal detonators. Those are something else. And then people were like, no, those are thermal detonators. So it's like I couldn't figure out what the right way to label those were. And in this case, I've been calling them thermal detonators the whole time, but every time you see one of those silver bricks, it says throw grenade, not thermal detonator. So anyhow. All right, we're going to make our way down the hallway, and you can actually see on the mini-map on the bottom left-hand corner, there is a mini-kit inside this wall right here. There's also one in the room just a little bit further in, so we'll be back for that. Don't worry. We actually have to wait till Phasma shows her metal face, and then we get to go ahead and follow her around, and eventually we get into the main control room, and that's where the final mini-kit will be. So we've got a couple of minutes before we get there, so as you probably just noticed, Thumbie recommends that you use those quick links down below in the video description. Meanwhile, we're just going to go ahead and take out the rest of those 30 stormtroopers and activate Phasma, as she's going to walk around and be on the prowl. What we need to do is grab that fuse and take it and slap it into place. There's actually 3 different locations you can use the fuse. And to be honest with you, I sort of had a brain fart here. In my scouting run, I did not do this in the order you're seeing. As a result, it sort of made me feel like the Phasma battle was going to be a rule of 3, right? Like LEGO has this sort of rule of 3 consistency where, you got 3 hearts you got to remove, or 3 rounds of this battle, or whatever the case is, right? So I thought you had to zap Phasma 3 times. Now, I was also looking at my studdage right now going, wait a minute, I don't have the True Jedi yet, and I'm almost done with this level. So it should be noted that there's lots of studs around, and if you don't have that, now is the time to grab it, because once we actually do one more fuse placement, it's actually going to damage Phasma, and we can then sort of guide her into the final room, which once she gets to that terminal, it's over. So we definitely want to make sure we've got everything did before we advance the story anymore. Now, you probably noticed I was running down the hallway and I realized Phasma was on the left hallway. So I went over there, and now keep in mind, when you shock her, you actually have to slap her, shoot her, or knock her around a little bit too. So make sure you do that. Otherwise, the story's going to be stuck there. But it's also a good point to go ahead and frolic around and get whatever mini kits, challenges, studs, whatever it is that you might need. Now, if you've been following along, I can't imagine there's anything left but that last mini kit. But just in case, I always like to make sure you guys are aware so you don't have to repeat the level and then blame me for it in the comments. All right. So we've officially taken out the bad guys. There she is with the fuse. Now we need to go find her and deploy that fuse into one of the traps. Now this is where I actually made a mistake here. And I recommend that once you get this fuse from her, well, I don't know what I'm doing here, I'm just messing about. Once we get the fuse, we want to actually take it and put it in the elevator right back where I'm heading right now, right where that purple icon is. Now, here's why I didn't do it. I thought it was the rule of 3, which I already mentioned. I wanted the final attack or the final moment where I hurt her to be right there, because that's the closest to the final control room that we take her to. And I thought, oh man, it'll save me the walk at the end, because I won't have to walk from one of these side hallway traps all the way down to the main control room. But as it turns out, I actually went to the furthest place away for her, and you only need to hurt her twice. So only need to spring 2 traps, and that was the second trap. So I should have used the bridge one with the elevator, because then we would have been a little closer. But really, it only adds about 25 to 30 seconds. All right, maybe a minute. So at this last point here, if you haven't figured it out, we actually need to, look down sight and make sure that she feels the pressure, because we're guiding her to the final room. Now, there's a few studs that could be snagged along the way too if you're bored, or maybe just in the last section of your True Jedi. But in our case, like we already recommended, we went ahead and smashed everything and got those did. Now, there's the walkway, and you actually get her to walk below it, and you drop something on her. And then it'd be right here, so you only would have to walk about 10 steps to get to the control room, but I botched that like nobody's biz. Once we get Phasma to the control panel, though, she opens the door, and off to the front right side of the room, there are what looks like some sort of servers, like big computer towers. We're going to take those down and find some bouncing bricks on the ground, build them up into an astromech panel, and then switch on over to your favorite, which in our case wasn't our favorite. It just happened to be R4, who was loaded into the level for us. We're going to solve this puzzle from the inside out. In fact, just that inner and outer. Don't mess with the middle. The middle is bad news bears. And we'll go ahead and get it. Once we've completed that, it's going to spin to win, and eventually it drops this planet, which I believe is another, like, Death Star. I think it's the Death Star, too. This is like a DJ booth, too, if you didn't notice. I think there's music happening, but because we have our audio turned off, or the music turned off, I don't think we heard it. But woo to the who! We got all them collectibles, and you should, too. Now, I'm just going to grab and smash a few more things in here because who doesn't like more studs? Got to get them all. Got to get them all. We'll go ahead and eventually, once we're done seeing all these on-screen prompts, we'll make our way, force her to the terminal. And as soon as she steps up to it, it triggers a cutscene, which we have removed. So guess what? It's time to return to Hoth. That's right. Hangar base. Let's go. All right, at some point, we're actually going to ride some of those Tauntauns again. I know we had a quick moment when we were looking for Luke, but we'll be back on those again. I can imagine that Hoth Free Roam will allow some Tauntaunage. All right, Starkiller Queen, level complete. And that includes the free play. We've got all of those studs. In fact, we needed 95K. We got plenty, but not a whole lot more, really, when you really think about it. It's not like we doubled it like some levels. Now, we started with Snowed In, but we showed you where to get it. We also showed you where Ray's Escape and Rug Pull Get Done did. And, of course, we get a Kyber Brick for completing those. Last but not least, we got those Minikits. We're going to stack them up into what is a Starkiller base. So maybe that was like a Starkiller that we got that last Minikit from. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but woo to the who. We's all good to go. We got one more level for episode 7, and then it's basically the home stretch, the final 10 free play videos before we jump into free roam. So, hey, big shout out to Tyler P for the guide work. Check it out at HappyThumbsGaming.com. Social media is available if you're into that kind of thing. And as for me, that's going to do it. As always, until next time, so